Picture this, it's 10 p.m. You're scrolling through your phone and you see it. Someone you know just announced they're starting a new 90-day challenge. The post is perfect, the lighting is great, the caption is full of inspiring hashtags, and the comments are flooding in. You go girl, so proud of you, crush it. And for a second, you feel a pang of something. Maybe envy, maybe pressure. You think, I should be doing that. I should be announcing my goals, getting that support. We've all been there. We've all been taught that this is how change begins, with a public declaration. But I want to plant a different seed in your mind right now. What if that announcement wasn't the first step? What if it was a wrong turn? What if the dopamine hit from all those likes and comments was actually robbing you of the real fuel you need to change? What if the most powerful, life-altering journeys don't start with a bang, but with a quiet, unbreakable promise you make only to yourself in the dead of night when no one else is listening? The world is screaming at you, a constant, relentless cacophony of noise. Be more, do more, show more, post your workout, or it didn't happen. Announce your new book before you've written a single word. Curate a life of perfect productivity for an audience of strangers, while your own soul feels disorganized. We have been conditioned to believe that the grandest changes are accompanied by the loudest announcements, that transformation is a spectacle, a performance to be judged and applauded. But what if that's the biggest lie we've ever been sold? What if the most profound, life-altering, earth-shattering transformations don't make a sound? What if they happen in the quiet moments you don't share, in the decisions made when no one is watching, in the promises you keep only to yourself? What if the greatest work of your life is done in secret? This is the path we are walking today, a path away from the noise and into the deep, resonant power of transformative self-focus. We are going to uncover the breathtaking beauty and the undeniable power of quiet results. So take a deep breath and let's begin. We need to talk about the addiction to validation. It's a modern plague. Every time you announce a goal before you've earned it, you get a small, fleeting hit of dopamine. The likes, the comments, the "you got this" messages, they feel like progress, but they are not. They are a dangerous substitute. It's like eating a picture of a meal instead of the meal itself. You get the momentary visual satisfaction, but you are left completely unnourished. You have expended your initial burst of motivational energy on the announcement, not on the action. The world doesn't need to know you're waking up at 5 a.m. The world doesn't need a picture of the book you're about to read. The world doesn't need your 5-point plan for success this quarter. What does the world need? It needs the version of you that has woken up at 5 a.m. for 365 straight days. It needs the wisdom you've integrated from the books you've actually read, not just photographed. It needs to feel the impact of the person you've become through the silent execution of your plan. The declaration is cheap. The execution is priceless. And we have to ask ourselves why. Why have we become so obsessed with the performance? It comes from a place of deep fear, a fear of being invisible, a fear that if we are not constantly broadcasting our existence, we will simply cease to matter. We are terrified of being forgotten in the endless scroll, so we shout. We signal our virtues, our ambitions, our very identity, hoping that the echo will prove we are still here. But this is a trap. It ties our sense of self-worth to the algorithm, to the whims of an audience that is, by its very nature, fickle. True self-worth, the kind that anchors you in a storm, is never built on such shifting sands. It is built on the bedrock of your own private, consistent actions. It is built in the quiet. This is the fundamental shift in understanding, moving your focus from the performance of improvement to the process of improvement. This is where the magic begins. This is where you reclaim your power. It starts by making a sacred pact with yourself, a silent vow. You decide right here and now that your journey is for you, not for your followers, not for your family, not for your friends to admire. It is for the person you will be 1 year, 5 years, 10 years from now. You are building a monument, but its foundations are deep within you, hidden from the public eye. This journey demands one thing from you above all else: brutal honesty. Look at your life. Really look at it. Where are you weak? Where do you procrastinate? What are the comfortable lies you tell yourself? The "I'll start tomorrow." The I don't have time, the it's not my fault. The quiet work requires you to become a detective of your own soul, to shine a light into the dusty corners you've been avoiding for years. It's uncomfortable. It can be painful. You will come face to face with the parts of you that you are not proud of. Do not flinch. Do not look away. This is not an exercise in self-hatred. It is an act of ultimate self-love. You cannot heal what you refuse to see. You must find comfort in the silence. Our world is terrified of silence. We fill every spare moment with podcasts, with music, with scrolling, with anything to avoid the sound of our own thoughts. Your first act of transformative self-focus is to carve out moments of absolute, unapologetic silence. No phone, no TV, no distractions, just you and your breath. In this silence, you will begin to hear it. That quiet inner voice you've been drowning out for years. It knows the way. It knows what you truly want beyond the superficial desires the world has programmed into you. It will whisper the next right step. Your only job is to listen. From this place of honesty and silence, you begin to act. But your actions are different now. They are not grand, sweeping gestures. They are small. They are consistent. They are boring. Yes, the work that changes your life is almost always boring. It's the extra 20 minutes of practice on your craft when you'd rather be watching TV. It's choosing the salad when your friends are ordering pizza. It's writing 300 words a day, every single day, even when you feel uninspired. It's putting that $50 into your savings account instead of spending it on another meaningless purchase. But we must reframe our understanding of boring. Society has taught us that if something is not thrilling, spectacular, or Instagrammable, it is worthless. This is a profound error. The boring work is where everything happens. It is not boring, it is foundational. It is a meditation. Each repetition of a simple action is not a chore, it is a prayer. It is an act of devotion to the person you are becoming. When you are practicing that scale on the piano for the 1,000th time, you are not just training your fingers. You are training your soul to find beauty in discipline. When you are meditating for 10 minutes in the quiet of the morning, you are not just doing nothing. You are building a sanctuary of peace inside your own mind. You must learn to fall in love with the process, to find the sacred in the mundane. The boring work is your secret ritual, your personal ceremony of becoming. Each of these actions is a single brick. On its own, it looks like nothing. It's insignificant. No one will applaud you for laying one brick. There is no glory in it, but you lay another, and another, and another, day after day, week after week. You are not building a wall for others to see. You are laying the foundation of a cathedral inside of you. This process is invisible to the outside world. While others are posting about their grind, you are simply grinding. While they are crafting the perfect caption about their hustle, you are hustling. The difference is that your energy is 100% focused on the work itself. There is no leakage, no energy spent on perception or validation. It is pure, concentrated, creative power. Let's go deeper into this, into the very mechanics of this silent transformation. What is actually happening when you choose this path? You are fundamentally rewiring your relationship with your own ego. The ego is the part of you that lives and dies by external opinion. It craves applause and fears ridicule. It is the part of you that wants to post the gym selfie. By deliberately starving the ego of this external validation, you force a profound internal shift. The ego screams for attention, and when you calmly deny it, its power begins to wane. And in the space it once occupied, something else begins to grow. Your authentic self, your soul, the part of you that doesn't care about likes, but cares deeply about integrity, about effort, about truth. This is not about destroying the ego, but about putting it in its rightful place as a passenger, not the driver of your life. And we must talk about the incredible power of the compound effect when it is practiced in secret. When you work silently, you are not just adding one brick to another. Each brick chemically bonds to the last, making the entire structure exponentially stronger. Your silent consistency creates a momentum that is terrifyingly powerful. It's the snowball rolling down the hill, starting as a small, insignificant clump, but gathering mass and speed with every silent rotation. To the outside world, the eventual avalanche of your success will look like an overnight phenomenon. They will call it luck. They will say you came out of nowhere, but you will know that it was not luck. It was the inevitable consequence of 1,000 unseen choices. It was the result of your relentless, quiet, daily devotion. This knowledge will give you a private, unshakable satisfaction that is worth more than all the applause in the world. But let's be honest, this path is not easy. It will test you in ways you cannot imagine. There will be days when you feel invisible. You will scroll through your phone and see others being celebrated for taking the first step of a journey you have been secretly walking for months. You will see the loud pronouncements, the public accountability posts, the celebrations of mediocrity, and you will feel a pang of something. Envy, frustration, a deep sense of being overlooked. This is the ego fighting back. It will whisper to you, "See, no one cares about your hard work. What is the point? Just tell them what you're doing. Get the credit you deserve." This is the critical moment. This is the test. In this moment, you must remember your sacred pact. You must remember that you are not working for credit. You are working for character. You are not building a reputation. You are forging a soul. You must learn to sit with that feeling of being overlooked and transform it into a source of private strength. Every time you resist the urge to share, you strengthen your resolve. You prove to yourself on a cellular level that your own inner approval is the only approval that truly matters. This is how you build real resilience, not the brittle confidence that comes from external praise, but the deep, flexible, unbreakable strength that comes from facing your own resistance and winning time and time again in secret. This leads to the creation of what we can call your inner scorecard. Imagine that every person operates by one of two scorecards. The first is the outer scorecard. Its points are tallied by society. Job titles, income, follower counts, public awards, the admiration of others. It is flimsy, volatile, and entirely outside of your control. Your reputation can be destroyed by a rumor. Your job can be lost in a downturn. The crowd's applause can turn to boos in an instant. Living by the outer scorecard is a recipe for perpetual anxiety. But the inner scorecard, that is a different game entirely. Its points are tallied only by you. Did I give my absolute best effort today, even when no one was watching? Did I act with integrity? Did I keep the promise I made to myself this morning? Did I choose the difficult right over the easy wrong? This scorecard is 100% within your control. It cannot be taken from you. It is immune to public opinion. When you live your life according to your inner scorecard, you become truly free. The opinions of others, positive or negative, become irrelevant data. You have a true north, an internal compass that guides your every action. Your self-worth is no longer up for debate. It is a settled fact, established by you, for you. And on this path, you will discover a secret superpower, the power of private failure. In a world that broadcasts every success, we are terrified to fail publicly. The shame can be paralyzing. But when you work in secret, you give yourself the gift of failing in private. You can experiment. You can try something audacious and fall flat on your face, and no one needs to know. You can learn the brutal lesson, dust yourself off, and try again, armed with new wisdom. Private failure is the ultimate learning accelerator. It removes the ego, it removes the shame, and it leaves only the pure lesson. The person who is not afraid to fail in private will eventually succeed in public on a scale the performers can only dream of. They have been hardened and sharpened in the fires of their own unseen mistakes. This internal shift will also radically transform your relationships. When you stop performing for people, you can finally start connecting with them. When you no longer need their approval, you are free to offer them your authentic presence. You listen more deeply because you're not just waiting for your turn to speak to prove how smart you are. You offer advice more sincerely because it's not tainted by a need to look like a guru. You become a source of quiet strength for others, a safe harbor in their own storms, because they can sense that your foundation is solid. Your relationships will deepen and become more meaningful, shifting from transactional and performative to authentic and truly supportive. And then something begins to happen. It's not a sudden explosion, it's a quiet unfolding. These are the quiet results. It starts with a feeling. You wake up one morning and the chronic anxiety that used to be your shadow is lighter. The world doesn't seem so threatening. You handle a difficult situation at work with a calmness that surprises even you. A problem that would have sent you into a spiral a year ago now feels manageable. This is the first ripple. This is your nervous system being rewired by your consistent, silent work. You have built a core of inner stability. It is unshakable. Then people start to notice. But they won't know what they're noticing. They won't say, "Congratulations on reading 50 books this year." They'll say something like, "There's something different about you," or "You seem so calm," or "How do you always seem to know what to do?" They are not seeing your secret actions. They are feeling your transformed presence. You radiate a new energy, a quiet confidence that doesn't need to announce itself. It is felt. It is respected. Opportunities will start to find you, not through luck, but because you have become the person who is prepared for those opportunities. The universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are. And you have been silently, diligently becoming someone new. You will find that you no longer crave the validation you once so desperately needed. The joy is not in the finish line. The joy is the process. The satisfaction comes from keeping the promise to yourself. The pride comes from knowing that you did the work when no one was watching. This is a freedom that is impossible to describe, but you will know it when you feel it. It is the freedom of being self-contained, self-validated, and self-propelled. You become your own source of energy, your own source of approval. You become a person of substance, not just style. You will possess a quiet, unshakable dignity, a serenity that cannot be bought or performed, only earned. This path is not for everyone. It is a lonely path at first. It requires you to detach from the world's definition of success. It requires you to have faith in the unseen, to trust that the 1,000 tiny invisible steps will eventually lead you to a mountaintop. It requires you to be your own cheerleader, your own mentor, and your own harshest but most loving critic. So, I ask you, what will you do after this video ends? Will you go and tell someone about the new philosophy you've just discovered, or will you be quiet? Will you find a silent space just for 5 minutes? Will you ask yourself one brutally honest question? Will you decide on one small, insignificant, secret action you will take tomorrow, and for the day after that, and the day after that? The choice is yours. The loud, crowded path of performance, or the quiet, sacred path of transformation. One leads to fleeting applause. The other leads to a deep, unshakable sense of self. One is about showing. The other is about being. Believe in the power of your own private efforts. Fall in love with the process that no one else sees. Trust that every silent act of discipline is a love letter to your future self. Embrace the profound, life-changing power of transformative self-focus. And let your life, not your lips, become a testament to the undeniable, magnificent power of quiet results. So you've made the choice. You've heard the call. You've decided to let your results do the talking. But what happens now? What happens on day 2, on day 20, on day 200, when the initial fire of this new philosophy begins to cool into embers? What happens when the silence you once craved starts to feel empty? This is where the real journey begins. This is where we separate the tourist from the true traveler. Because the world will not stop screaming. The noise will not fade just because you've chosen a different path. In fact, it might seem louder than ever before. You will see the parades of false prophets, the carnivals of empty promises, the fireworks of fleeting fame, and you will be standing in your quiet field, holding a single seed, and the doubt will creep in. It will whisper, "Are you a fool? Are you missing out? Is your silence just another word for failure?" This is the first dragon you must slay, the dragon of comparison. And you slay it not with a sword, but with a change of vision. You must understand that you are not even playing the same game as them. They are playing checkers, a game played on the surface with loud clicks and obvious moves, all for the approval of the crowd. You are playing chess, a game played in the depths, in silence, a game of strategy, of patience, of sacrifice, a game where the most powerful moves are often the quietest ones, a game where you are not playing against the other person. You are playing against your own former self. Your only opponent is the person you were yesterday. That is the only comparison that matters. Let's talk about the nature of the strength you are building. The world celebrates a brittle strength, the strength of the bodybuilder who poses in the mirror, all surface muscle and visible striations. It's impressive, it's loud, but what happens when the foundation is weak? What happens when life delivers a blow that isn't physical? The quiet work builds a different kind of power. It builds tensile strength, the strength of a spider's silk, seemingly delicate, yet stronger than steel by weight. The strength of a deep river current, invisible on the surface, yet powerful enough to carve canyons through solid rock over time. This strength is forged in the moments you choose integrity over applause, It's the moment you finish the last set in the gym when your body is screaming and the only witness is the cold, indifferent iron. It's the moment you delete a paragraph you loved because it didn't serve the story and no one will ever know the sacrifice. It's the moment you tell the difficult truth in a private conversation when a comfortable lie would have been so much easier. Each of these choices is a fiber being woven into the rope of your character. The world won't see the rope, but when the storms of life come, and they will come, and you need to hold on, you will be grateful for every single invisible fiber. You will not break. And we must confront the loneliness. Oh, the loneliness of this path can be a bitter pill to swallow. You will feel like a ghost walking through a world obsessed with noise. You will have breakthroughs, moments of profound insight, victories that feel like they could shake the heavens, and you will have no one to tell. You will want to pick up the phone, to post the update, to share the victory, and you must learn to hold it, to hold that energy inside of you. But here is the secret. This is not a punishment. This is a sacred process of transmutation. When you hold that victorious energy within you, instead of dissipating it into the ether of public opinion, it doesn't vanish. It becomes fuel. It soaks into your very being. It becomes a part of your cellular memory. It becomes a private wellspring of confidence that you can draw from in times of drought. You are learning to become your own source of validation. You are learning to be your own sun, instead of a planet desperately orbiting the approval of others. The loneliness is the price of admission for this kind of sovereignty. And once you have tasted that freedom, you would never, ever go back. The loneliness transforms into a rich, fulfilling solitude. Your own company becomes a sanctuary, not a punishment. This journey requires you to become a master of your own energy. Think of your motivational energy like a finite resource, like a glass of water. Every time you announce your intentions, you are spilling a little bit of that water. You're giving it away. Look what I'm about to do. Spill. Here's my plan for the next 90 days. Spill. Wish me luck on my new diet. Spill. By the time you get to the actual work, your glass is half empty. The path of quiet results is the path of energy conservation. You seal the leaks. You keep the water in the glass. You channel every single drop of your focus, your willpower, your desire into the action itself. The energy becomes concentrated, potent, powerful. This is why the silent worker often accomplishes in a year what the loud performer only talks about for a decade. It's not magic. It is the physics of focus. Where attention goes, energy flows. And your attention is undivided. It is a laser beam, not a disco ball. And what about failure? We touched on it, but we must go deeper. The public performer is terrified of failure. A public failure is a stain on their reputation, a crack in their carefully constructed facade. It is a source of immense shame. But for you, the silent worker, failure is just data. It's a private experiment that yielded a negative result. That's it. There is no shame. There is no audience. There is only the lesson. You try a new business idea and it fails miserably. Who knows? Only you. You learn why it failed. You learn about the market, about your own weaknesses, about what not to do next time. The lesson is pure. It is not contaminated by the need to save face or manage public perception. You are free to fail, and therefore, you are free to learn at a rate that is simply impossible for those who are afraid to look bad. You can fail 10 times in secret in the time it takes them to recover from one public stumble. And on the 11th try, you will create something so powerful, so refined, so anti-fragile, that they will have no choice but to call you an overnight success. They will never know about the 10 ghosts of failure that stand behind you, making you strong. This process will also change your perception of time. The world of loud announcements operates on a timeline of instant gratification. Post something, get an immediate response. Start a project, expect immediate results. We have been trained to have the patience of a toddler. But the path of quiet results is a return to a more natural, more powerful rhythm. The rhythm of the seasons, the rhythm of the farmer. The farmer does not plant a seed on Monday and demand a harvest on Friday. He knows that would be insane. He plants the seed, he waters it, he tends to the soil, he protects it from weeds, he does the work day after day with no visible result. He has faith, he trusts the process, he knows that the growth is happening under the surface, in the dark, where no one can see it. And then, one day, a tiny green shoot appears, and then another, and he continues the work. He doesn't celebrate the first shoot by inviting the whole village to a party. He knows the work is not done. He continues to nurture it, to protect it, to have faith. You must become a farmer of your own life. You must plant the seeds of your habits, your skills, your dreams. and you must tend to them with unwavering faith and patience, especially when you see no evidence of growth. You must fall in love with the tending, not just the harvest, because the truth is, the harvest is just a fleeting moment. The richness of life is found in the daily, sacred act of tending to your own garden. Let's create this image in our minds. The secret garden. This is your sanctuary, this is your laboratory, this is your cathedral. Inside the walls of this garden, you are free. You plant the seed of a new language. Every day you water it with 15 minutes of practice. No one knows. You plant the seed of physical fitness. Every day you tend to it with a walk, with push-ups, with choosing water over soda. It's your secret. You plant the seed of a novel, a business, a skill. You nurture it with 300 words, 1 cold call, 1 hour of deliberate practice. The walls of this garden are your boundaries. They are your refusal to speak of the work before it is done. They protect your fragile, growing seeds from the harsh winds of public opinion, from the pests of doubt, from the premature glare of the spotlight. Within these walls, you are not the person the world thinks you are. You are not your job title. You are not your social media profile. You are simply the gardener, the one who tends, the one who grows. And over time, this garden will begin to produce the most extraordinary fruits, the fruits of wisdom, of skill, of resilience, of peace. And eventually, the garden will become so abundant, so overflowing with life, that the fruits will begin to spill over the walls. This is when the world will finally see your results. They won't see the garden, they won't see the years of silent toil, the sweat, the faith. They will only see the magnificent fruit. They will taste it, and they will wonder how you did it. And you will simply smile, because you know the secret. The magic wasn't in the fruit, the magic was in the garden. But be warned, as you tend this garden, you will encounter a saboteur. And this saboteur is not outside the walls, it is inside. It is that part of you, that insidious voice that has been conditioned by a lifetime of seeking external approval. It is the inner critic. It will tell you that your garden is pathetic. It will point to other, more magnificent public gardens and say, "See, you'll never be that good." It will tell you that your efforts are pointless. Why are you working so hard? No one even cares. You're wasting your time. It will try to convince you to tear down the walls, to show people your tiny, struggling sprouts, just to get a little bit of validation that you're on the right track. You cannot fight this voice with logic. You cannot argue with it. That gives it power. You must treat it like a whining child in the corner of the room. You acknowledge it, and you go back to your work. I hear you. Thank you for sharing. And then you pick up your watering can. I understand your concern. And then you pull another weed. Your devotion to the process is the only antidote to the poison of the inner critic. The work itself becomes your prayer, your meditation, your act of defiance. Every single silent repetition of your chosen task is a vote for your future self and a vote against the voice of mediocrity. You don't defeat the critic by shouting it down. You defeat it by making it irrelevant. You simply outwork it. And as you continue on this path, something miraculous begins to happen to your relationships. When you no longer need anything from anyone, not their praise, not their approval, not their validation, you become free to truly give. You can listen to a friend's problems without secretly thinking about how you can one-up them with your own story. You can celebrate someone else's success with genuine joy because their victory takes nothing from you. You are not in competition with them. You are running your own race on your own track. You become a source of quiet, stable energy. People will be drawn to you without knowing why. They will feel a sense of peace in your presence. They will find that they can be their true selves around you because you are not judging them. You are not keeping score. You are simply present. You have become a safe harbor in a world of turbulent seas. And the connections you form from this place of authenticity will be deeper, richer, and more real than any connection forged in the shallow waters of performance and mutual validation. You will find your true tribe, not the audience that applauds your show, but the fellow gardeners who appreciate the silence and who know the value of the unseen work. Let's think about the legacy we want to leave. In 100 years, when all of us are gone, what will remain? Will it be a digital archive of our filtered photos and our loud announcements? A ghost in the machine, a collection of signals that signified nothing? Or will it be the real-world impact of our actions? Will it be the child who grew up secure and loved because you did the silent, often thankless work of being a present and patient parent? Will it be the community that was strengthened because you quietly volunteered your time, not for the photo op, but because it was the right thing to do? Will it be the body of work, the book, the art, the business, the craft that you painstakingly built in secret, brick by brick, until it was so solid and so true that it could stand on its own and serve others long after you were gone. The legacy of a quiet life is not written in headlines. It is written in the hearts of the people you touched. It is woven into the fabric of the world in ways you may never even see. It is the ripple effect of your integrity. It is the echo of your character. This is the ultimate quiet result. A life that mattered not because it was loud, but because it was real. So, here we are. At the end of these words, but at the beginning of your decision, the path is clear. It is not easy. It is a rebellion, a quiet rebellion against a culture of noise, a rebellion against the tyranny of the urgent, a rebellion against the addiction to validation. It is a declaration of independence for your own soul. I am asking you to do something radical. I am asking you to disappear, not from your life, not from your responsibilities, but to disappear from the stage of public performance. I am asking you to retreat into your own private laboratory and to begin the great work of your life in secret. Pick one thing, just one thing, the thing that whispers to you in the quiet moments, the thing you are almost afraid to want. Is it to write, to get healthy, to build a business, to learn an instrument, to heal a relationship? Now make a vow, a silent vow to yourself and whatever you hold sacred, that for the next 30 days, you will work on this one thing every single day. And you will tell no one. You will not post about it. You will not talk about it. You will not seek advice or approval for it. It is your secret. It is your sacred pact. Let the world think you are doing nothing. Let them think you are standing still. Let them scroll past you, chasing the next bright, shiny object. While they are chasing, you will be building. While they are talking, you will be doing. While they are performing, you will be becoming. This is your invitation to step off the treadmill, to turn away from the wall, to walk out of the noisy, crowded stadium and into the quiet, sacred space of your own potential, to find the power that has been waiting for you in the silence, to discover the profound, unshakable, life-altering magic of doing the work when no one is watching. Your future self is waiting. They are hoping you will choose this path. They are hoping you will start today. Don't let them down. The work begins now. In silence. Go.